What's up?
I hear crickets.
You heard crickets. I hear crickets too. It's my window is open, so we got some crickets outside. How are we all doing tonight? I am
Oh,
Josh. That is Dimitri. This
hello.
is Redpill Project's Insomniac Hour. This is for those who can't sleep. We're just gonna let you listen to crickets.
That's it. That should put you out really quick.
That's right. Tonight we're actually talking about cricket theory, and this is how the sounds, the syncopative sounds of the crickets in nature put you to sleep at night. They increase the melatonin within the body and they help you sleep. Why? Because it's a natural signaling to your brain that it's nighttime.
Wow, I didn't know that.
I didn't either. I just made it up, but I'm
Did you really? Is
probably
it true?
correct. I'm probably correct.
Because I mean,
Probably
it's
correct.
it's in a lot of sleep tracks. You hear crickets or babbling brooks, but I feel like if you listen to a babbling brook, that would make you want to go to the bathroom. And then the one thing I do know about sleep is that light, this blue light that comes out from our phones or our tablets before we go to bed, actually is the same, similar to the light that we get from the sun. So if you walk outside for 5 minutes in the morning and just get a little bit of sunshine, your body will start waking up because of the special kind of light that comes
That's
from
right, because you have something known as chromatic cells on your epidermis. You also have chromatic cells throughout your whole body. Your pineal gland is one big chromatic cell. Your eyes are chromatic cells, but you have chromatic cells all over your skin. And when you go out in the morning time, especially at sunset, the
sunrise.
wavelength of sunrise. The wavelength of light is more particular to blue, which stimulates epinephrine. Norepinephrine. It stimulates serotonin, dopamine, and wakes you up. Whereas at nighttime, the
Yeah,
opposite occurs.
I was just gonna say, isn't it the same scheme of colors though? If you think about
No,
it.
at nighttime it's actually a red, and
Okay.
so it has kind of the opposite effect. Now this is interesting because the cell phones that we use and LED lights actually give off a hue of blue, which is very reminiscent of the blue light of the sun in the morning, which stimulate dopamine production and serotonin instead of actually producing melatonin. So this is like
Right.
right now, my kids are about to go to sleep because
I hate
summer's
that.
coming
Yeah.
down to the end, right? So no tablet after like 8
Totally.
p.m.
Totally. It's the worst when they're falling asleep like in front of it, and like I'm like, no, 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 no. This is not the way you're supposed to go to sleep. You're not supposed to pass out. You're supposed to fall asleep. Pretend like you're sleeping.
Right. So, but tonight we're really talking about spaceship theory.
Right. We are. And actually, I was going to say something. I'm glad you brought the sun up because I was thinking about people that lived in terms of sunrises or sunsets.
Right. So no
And
tablet.
people that live in terms of sunrises, I think will live like every day would be to the fullest, so to speak, because they would see the sunrise and then they would go to bed when it sets. And the people that live by sunsets, they would have like long, long days, but their weeks would fly by. Whereas the person with the sunrises would like experience every day as a separate entity. I think anyway, like morning risers versus like night owls, I think. But I think that
The mic is low. Go ahead, Dimitri. You're fine.
it ties into the spaceship theory because we all pursue time differently, right?
Right.
So if you're having fun and I'm bored and we're doing the same thing, it's going to take forever for me. For you, it's going to fly by. That's a weird like little glitch, like we're both doing the same stuff, but I love shoveling and you hate it. So like to me, this is great.
Yeah.
And to you, it's like, oh, yeah. Just in case anybody knows, this spaceship theory is a theory that has been worked on by Josh. Well, you came up with this, right? Obviously.
That's right. I came up with what's known as. Sorry, guys. I know you guys are saying my mic is low. What I came up with is something known as spaceship theory. So if you guys can hear me better now, just let me know. I don't know what the hell's been going on with this. It's sporadic and it's periodic, and my mic is high quality, and I just don't know. But if I have a good mic, and then the sound is pretty much level between me and Dimitri, please let me know.
Yeah.
And I have to go in here and test that out. That's right there.
Well, while he's doing that, I'll pencil you into the theory.
Yeah,
So
go ahead.
there's 10,000 of us left, approximately, right? That's what you said?
Well, yeah, I look at it in the sense is how many people have you come in contact with in your life that you knew without a reason of a doubt were real, legitimate people. And so I came up with this theory many years ago. It was actually on an LSD trip.
Cool.
And the idea came to me is what if there is only 10,000 people left on the planet. And we decided to... Do you have something playing in the background?
Me?
Yeah, do you have our playing in the background?
Nothing.
I can hear I can hear an echo.
Nothing. I got nothing playing.
Okay.
I don't think. I mean, I don't hear it.
It's not on your phone or something?
No, I'll put it in airplane mode though, just in case.
Yeah, I'm hearing feedback. Anyways.
Okay.
Assuming that there's like about 10,000 people left on a planet and we take off to the stars on an alien spacecraft to go find a new home planet.
Right.
And we know it's going to be a long journey. So we all go into a cryogenic sleep and we create an AI, artificial intelligence simulation system to keep our minds occupied while we're out in space for this long trek to wherever we go. And we get integrated into it, and the trip goes longer than expected. So the artificial intelligence has to keep us asleep longer than expected. And so what happens is it goes through many variations of the simulation. The first variation is like a kind of a utopia. Right. Unfortunately, we all destroy it eventually because we begin fighting with ourselves, and there's only 10,000 of us. As you progress forward, it produces various other scenarios.
But hang on. But you got to add the people, like why there's so many people, so to speak, on Earth. You know what I mean?
Well, you got to get there first.
Okay.
So you move forth this simulation, and it goes through many renditions, right? Ancient Greek, Rome, so forth. And then what happens is it finds out that the reason that each one of these simulations begins to fail and has to have what we call a reset is that there's too many people interacting with each other, remembering who they were, and too many people waking up out of the simulation. So what the AI does is it begins to create artificial simulation people, basically simulated people.
NPCs.
NPCs. And it starts increasing them within the simulation. And so basically what it does is it segregates all those 10,000 consciousnesses which are interacting in the simulation with artificial consciousnesses. And so it separates them. But then when you find out is, let me ask you this. Have you ever met someone and you're like, whoa, that's more real than real. There's a connection here. It's something different. It's like we're more human than human when you meet that person. Yeah. And this is what I'm talking about. Then you meet those people. They're just like, is that person even human? What the hell's going on here? And so this is kind of what legitimizes this theory, because you can't disprove this theory.
Yeah, and what's more, I see people that remind me of other people. So so maybe the two people don't look the same, per se, they couldn't be like doppelgangers, but they look similar and they have a mannerism to them. They're just something like a dog looking like its owner, something just calls for this other person, which is basically they're just a reflection. Mm-hmm. It's just a filler of a human, so to speak. I'm never going to see this person again, but damn, she reminds me of Louisa a lot. She looked, it's kind of like the non-humans are very, very evident if you start looking closer, I think.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. And so when we start to look at spaceship theory, we have this model in the sense is that what if our civilization is actually not on a planet? That we're actually stuck in a simulation that's traveling on a spaceship, traversing space, maybe to another destination that's millions or billions of light years away, or maybe our home planet got destroyed or we destroyed it. Maybe everything that we're learning about in these simulations is what happened on our actual planet.
That's what I'm thinking too, yeah.
And what if we're just the remnants of that civilization that was saved, but uploaded into an artificial simulation as we're traversing the stars to our next destination? And we're kind of going through this. And what if we've been out here for a very long time?
I think that's perfectly feasible, and a similar avenue of that would be somehow we knew that civilization was going to end. It's not over yet, so we're saying the year 1984 still, right? All of us, and we're like, oh shit, somebody, maybe they figure out time travel, or they get a message that we have to figure out what to do, which scenario not to play out. So we are simulated as we're playing out the scenarios from 1984 onto 2020 to see which one humanity should take, to not the butterfly effect, the whole thing. So kind of like 12 monkeys, so to speak, but we're the simulation, experiencing it. Because I was always thinking simulations, they always put you in the future. In the Matrix, it was the year 2123 or 20, whatever it was. Why are we always going like super far? Maybe it's still 1981 and we're all just like pretending or we're simulating 2020 when it's not really
Well,
that
I don't
advanced.
think it really matters what year it is in that sense. It matters is how far away from an event have we come. Now, if we go to like prescribe to the mud floods, right? The mud floods that happened, Tartaria,
Hmm.
and all this stuff, it looks like we're about 200 years out from this advanced civilization that once used to exist on this planet, that all the history seems to be buried.
I heard that too. What the hell was that?
You got some feedback somewhere. It's all good
Dude, I
though.
have nothing in here.
I don't know. It's just a weird night of digital streaming, but for
Yeah.
everybody joining us, we're talking about various types of things in the sense of spaceship theory. Now, there's other types of theories we can talk about. We can talk about simulation theory. We can talk about computational theory of mind, of consciousness. We can talk about what if we are just computers? What if we are an alien's version of The Sims?
I mean, Elon Musk said it like he explained it really, really well. He's like, think of how far video games have come in 40 years. Like 40 years ago, there was two sticks and a ball, and that was Pong. And now we have VR, augmented reality that is virtually indistinguishable, virtually. Like, so, like I remember watching a video game of like a Forza Motorsports and like a Lamborghini pulled up. And the only way I knew it was fake is like the tree in the background was like a little bit less like, clear than everything else. So all it would need a simulation is a shutter speed faster than the human eye could process. Not a shutter that our eyes, but we process reality just at a speed. So if you make it a speed faster than that, there's your simulation, and zap us every time we get hurt. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's interesting, but like, what's the way out? I guess when we die, we'll find out, right?
Well,
I think green
reality does have a refresh rate, and that's something to take into account. We don't experience reality instantaneously. There is no instant reality. Your
no way.
experiencing of reality is the first memory.
It's like half a second, I think, right? Well, I
Well,
mean,
it's like 1 millionth of a second, one hundredth of a second, or something like that. But I guarantee you that you can account it to the octave, right? The resonant frequency of about 60 hertz, or 120 hertz, or 240 hertz. And that the refresh rate of reality is somewhere within that, because that is where human beings tend to be very hypnagogic, if
right.
they perceive those types of frequencies, which are the frequencies of your phone screen, your computer screen, your television, and so forth.
Did you ever do Randonautica? Have you ever tried that app?
What is
You know about it?
what is Randonautica?
You don't know about this?
No.
Well, dude, Randonautica, I don't even know if it's around anymore. They like banned it or whatever, because this is going to blow your mind. So Randonautica was an app created by people thinking that we're in a simulation that creates a quantum point that's near your location for you to go to. So it just like, it randomly picks, we're using a quantum, whatever it is, like just a random spot. It could be like near a stream in somebody's backyard, but it says like, the app warns you, like, don't go, like trespassing and stuff. And the idea is that because you were never supposed to be there, because it's a random generated point, you would see a glitch in the simulation. Now, get this. This app started sending people to dead bodies buried in the woods, to KKK meetings, to like all kinds of secret, like evil shit that they were never supposed to see without this app. And it was like constant. Like there's a whole thing on YouTube. It's like Randonautica Adventures. It's weird. And then like no one knows. And it was supposed to be a quantum like computer that points dots around you. You know what I mean? And then the thing is if you think of something, like, so you think of yourself $5 bill, because as you hit the button, you're supposed to like give intent to the phone. It says project your intention of what you want to find at the spot. So you project I want $5. So sure enough, like you'll go there and there'll be $5, or like there'll be like a 5 somewhere. You know what I mean? So it was kind of like debunking the fact that there was a glitch, but at the same time proving there was a simulation, because we created whatever the hell it sent us to. You know what I mean?
Right, but you got to ask yourself, was that really random?
Exactly. No, there's no way. There's no way.
No. Was the computer actually using an RNG to produce a random location, or was consciousness itself connecting to the computer's own energy structure and saying, I want an adventure completely random, something I would never expect, a glitch in my own conscious matrix? And therefore, that intentional energy went forth and produced the dead body, the KKK meeting, or whatever it might have been.
Right. That's the only explanation I had too. Like it's got to be because for some people, like I did it twice, and it sent me to the woods.
Yeah.
Like I was riding my bike in the woods. I looked around. There's no dead bodies.
Hey, do you drink the Kool-Aid?
Yeah, I drink the Kool-Aid.
Just making sure.
I do drink a little bit every day, so I'm immune to it now. It's kind of like that Princess Bride movie. Inconceivable.
Inconceivable.
You keep on using this word. I do not think you know what it means. So yeah, it sent me to the woods. But like these people, they find like, dude, there was like a scary shit. Like there was a boyfriend and a girlfriend driving. There's a bunch of people in white like hoods and stuff in the middle of a field. Like what the hell?
But the question is were they real?
The thing is I don't think it proves this is a simulation at all, because if we were in a simulation, the Randonautica would be a part of the simulation. So obviously, like, you can't get out the outside of the shit.
But think about this. Is if the Randonautica was part of the simulation and you are therefore utilizing a random number generator to pick a location to show you a glitch within the simulation itself cannot produce a glitch. Which means that the random fact that you're not supposed to be there, the computer or the simulation, the big one, would have to create some random event to take your attention away from what would be perceived as a glitch.
So that would be the KKK meeting and shit. So what would be the glitch then? Because
that would be the glitch. That in itself is the glitch.
I just want to know, like, what is it that we're so like that?
My name is Amigo Montoyo. You killed my father.
Prepare to die. I just want to know, like, what is it so like? The closest I tell people, the closest I've ever been to the truth is people tell me you're not going to like it.
Well, how about this? Anton LaVey, the founder of the Church of Satan, Leviathan Church of Satan.
Right.
On his deathbed.
Yeah, I know. I was so wrong, right?
I was so wrong.
So we're good.
Well, no. What if he was waking up taking the VR headset off? Oh shit, I was so wrong.
Yeah, what's his name said this is peculiar, right? What's his name? Amicus's boy. What the hell's that guy's
Aleister
name?
Crowley.
Yes, he said this is peculiar. But then him saying that, I don't know what the hell that means. Like, it's just like he was all kinds of like genius and then
I think that you don't know, and that seriously you can't know. It's literally impossible to know. For the moment you know, guess what?
You're dead.
You're dead. It's the glitch. It's the ultimate glitch. And I think that's that chick, the one of Tinker Ventures, Erin.
I don't know what that is.
Hold on, I'll pull it up real quick. My mouse tends to disappear when I'm doing these types of things. Erin Valenti. Tinker Ventures, Erin Valenti. So she was a CEO of a small tech company, and she had a few government contracts, DARPA contracts, and she went to the Silicon Valley meeting. And at the Silicon Valley meeting, the day after the meeting, she calls home to her dad, and she goes, "It's all one big thought experiment. We live in the Matrix."
That's fucking, yeah, you told me that before.
And she had to leave. 2 days later, she's found dead in her car.
Dude.
Now, how about this? What about the Korean girl? The Korean girl who's playing the elevator game.
I don't remember this one.
Okay, so I guess there's a game out there like Elevator or something similar to Elevator, where you get in a random elevator and you take it up to the top floor. Okay, and supposedly you're supposed to like transfer dimensions or something like that. Okay, but this girl did it, and I guess she was saying like somehow she had a major breakthrough, and she was in California and does it, and her body ends up being found in the water treatment holder container on top of the hotel, which you can't get into. There's no way her body could have gotten in there. There's no crevice for her body to have gotten in there unless she teleported into this thing.
Now, see that one, I think somebody killed her and put her there.
No.
Like,
you got to go research it a little bit more. Listen,
I haven't even heard of it. This is the first I'm hearing of it.
They have video of her on the elevator. Like legit. Dude, I'm telling you, my wife was telling me about this. Yeah, I think it was Cecil Hotel. My wife was telling me about this. This is a game that they actually play. And it's supposed to be... You ever seen the show OA on Netflix?
Yes.
Where they do out-of-body experiences and they go between realms and they shift dimensions?
I think I saw like a part of it. Yeah.
Go watch it. But
it's from like the Flatliners, right? Kind of that type shit.
No. It's a little bit different. But go watch it. So only the custodian had the keys to the water tanks. You're right, but Dead Rucker, there is no opening big enough for the water tanks for her to get in there, and it's all locked from what I remember. But either way, this is a game that they play, and the point of the game is to basically shift dimensions.
So she did, and then she ended up she teleported to the wrong side, to the water tower.
Well, no, I think it's this. I think that she might have went to another dimension, but what does that do here?
It's like, what's his name? The guy from the X-Men that teleports. It's like, I have to concentrate. I have to know what's on the other side of the wall, because if I don't, I could end up in the wall.
Yeah, Cecil Hotel on Netflix. Watch that. But no, it's like the movie The One with Jet Li.
Okay.
So as your consciousness transfers to the next dimension, you leave this body behind here, and the energy concentrates in the body in the next dimension.
So she's like doubled up somewhere else.
Yeah, there you go.
Cool.
Nice. And that's kind of like my perspective of the universe in the sense of multiple points of consciousness is very similar to that. Where, if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, I'm talking about the movie The One with Jet Li in it.
When he kicks the thing and it falls.
Well, in this movie, he starts being chased by this guy who's trying to kill him. He ends up stopping, and the guy is himself. He gets it explained to him that there's a finite amount of points of his soul within existence. It's all quantumly entangled, and there's multiple dimensions. And that
something, right?
They had learned in their dimension how to transfer to different dimensions, and so he was going around killing all of himself and all the other dimensions, making himself power and moving closer to a state of, oneness.
Like Lucy.
Right. And it makes a lot of sense that what if, we were distributed across dimensional aspects of the universe. And this is why we have a fragmented perspective of the universe. This is why we only have a small portion of reality. Go ahead.
Do you think that we keep splitting, or do you think there's a finite amount of us splits already? So, like, you know what I mean? Like with every thought, are we making a new universe and we're just splitting and splitting and splitting?
You ready for this theory? This is actually, I like this. So, you know how they say that atheists like to believe when you die, that's it. It's done. It's just a cold, dark sleep. It's nothing. There's nothingness, right?
Yeah, I can't. Okay.
But let me ask you this. What brings about a point of continuous life? Now, think about this here. Well, think about this.
Okay.
I used to have this vision of my father right after he died. And he got into a car accident and went through the windshield and died. But right when he died, he woke up in his bed. Oh, it was just a nightmare. So think about this. What if when you actually die here, okay, in this life, you wake up at another point in your life or in another life somewhere else?
Quantum jumping, yeah.
Yeah, at another point of reality where you're already in existence.
Quantum immortality. That's happened to me before. I'm like 99% sure. I was whacked by a bike handlebar, like right here, 3 inches south, and it would have been lights out for me. So like, dude, like it totally could have happened in here. I died there, shifted to this one, a little bit more powerful, and it just got me here. So think
about that. So what if you don't actually die? There's a continuous state of existence.
But you would have to remember some of them and not remember others, right? Because, or you just take the memories of that new reality, I guess, that you're in.
Well, think about it. Like, let's just remember. What is that show? It's a cartoon show, not Mork and Mindy, but it's Mort and
Doc and Morty.
No, Morton something. I always forget the name of the show. I don't watch the show. I've just seen the clip. But he's at a fair. It's a cartoon. He's at a fair and he puts his VR headset on. And he Rick and Morty. Rick and Morty. He puts a VR headset on. And he's birthed and he grows up and he has a loving family and he goes to school, he goes to high school, he goes to college, he gets married, he has children, he gets really old, he watches his children grow up, they get married, he has grandchildren, and then he dies. And when he dies, the VR headset, he goes, "Oh my God, that wasn't real!" And he was only gone for like a minute. And so think about this: is what if life was just this continuous relay of your soul transferring its energy and reallocating? So I have this. I write a lot of poetry, but I also do a lot of other types of writings. And I recently just published some of my writings on our redpills.tv.
Cool.
And one of them is one of the most profound experiences I've ever had.
Okay.
And I've had a lot of profound experiences, especially with LSD.
Nice.
This one was not on any hallucinogenic drug. It was actually on alcohol, of all drugs.
Can I ask you a question before you start?
Yeah.
Have you ever, on LSD, do you hear echoes? Like when you say something?
No.
You don't?
No, never have.
Okay.
Everybody's experiences are different, though.
No, I haven't. I've never done an LSD that much to hear anything. I just I did DMT the other day, and it was that's what I heard. When you say something and you hear.
So,
weird. Go ahead.
Jeff is one of our former co-hosts.
Okay.
We were at the fire, and this is that night that I had met that angelic being who came down to me when I was studying Solomon's Temple. And I'm sitting there and I'm watching the fire, and I'd smoked a little weed. And I'm watching the fire, and this is when I was developing what we now know of as optimization theory and the principle of exchange. And I asked the universe, I said, show me that this is real. And I started watching the fire. It's just the ambers. And you start seeing the ambers over here get high, and then the ones over here get low. And you start seeing this dark red and then a blackness, dark red and a blackness. And it starts dancing all over the place. And I wrote this blog called A Dance I Saw the Universe Do. And I want to just read this for everybody. It was late, 2 a.m. to be exact. It was myself and my best friend sitting next to a fire. The air was clean, crisp. The night was clear and full of stars. The conversation was about mind, energy, and quantum possibilities. A moment of silence came about us. We realized we had to let the fire die out to burning embers. I looked down, and what I saw amazed me. It filled me with joy and anticipation. Thoughts started to flow. The voice in my head said, "Truth has just been realized and understood." Within those embers on that night, I saw the dance the universe did. I saw the flickering, a fluctuation of the embers, one after another. It became so clear. As one combustion reaction occurred and released heat, the heat immediately affected all other embers, and they all would momentarily increase their current energy state and come to a flicker and fluctuation. They reacted perfectly to the action that took place, a manifestation of Newton's third law being played out with complex beauty and precision right before my eyes. Every action producing a reaction, every reaction creating a new subset of sympathetic actions, those sympathetic reactions lasting mere instances before being induced with a new superset of combustion reactions, so on and so forth. It was a dance, a beautiful dance of nature's simplicity wrapped within moments of complex interactions. The universe was unveiling its mysteries to me. I am nobody. It was just at that moment I had decided to accept what was. It is the gift that is given whenever we decide it. It is given to each one of us only when we pay attention. The fire didn't require belief or faith. It didn't ask for my worship or promise me salvation. It only required me to pay attention, to participate, to open my mind and see it for what it was. Truth. As above, so below, the message had been received. Just as the pebble is dropped into the ocean and causes a stir, it ripples pulsating out to subtly affect every drop of water in existence of that ocean. So do the drops subtly push back to the pebble. Within this lesson, the dance is a wealth of information as to how we create our reality and how our reality can create us. On this night, the universe showed me its sacred dance. Now, this is what it really means, is that if I drop a pebble into the ocean, Dimitri.
I was going to say the lake. Because if you drop a pebble in the ocean, you're not going to even notice the shit. Like, it's an ocean.
That's the point. This is what I want you to understand. Okay. Yes, you do notice it. Here's the thing. If I drop a pebble in the still ocean, does the pebble displace the water?
Of course.
Does the water push on the pebble?
Yeah. Big time. Well, the further down it goes, yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's weird.
There, now you saw it.
Because check this out.
Water pushes on the pebble as much as the pebble pushes on the water.
Yeah, but quick thought on that. So like, if a rock falls all the way to the bottom of the Mariana Trench, it doesn't like crumble under pressure, right? Or does it?
Eventually it will, yeah.
It will. Let's turn into sand.
But that's besides the point that we're trying to talk about here.
Oh, yeah, I
know. We're talking metaphorical rock
and
water.
I know.
Okay?
I know.
So metaphorical rock drops into the water, displaces the water.
Yin yang, yes.
That pebble is pushing out against the water as much as that water is pushing onto the pebble. Now, the water is giant. The water is massive. But at this point of relevance, the water doesn't take all of its energy and action to squash that pebble. It only pushes back with the same amount of energy that the pebble pushes on the water. And what I saw there in that fire that night, Dimitri, was the fire. As the energy was distributed amongst the embers, one side would flare up and another side would unflare, yin and yang. And it would go back and forth. And each reaction would cause a subtle amount of interactions. And so you'd get like one big flare up, and then you get a whole bunch of small little flare ups, like ripples. Yeah. And then those small little ripples, right, would hold a certain amount of energy, and they would be the next level of flare up, and then the next level. And it was a completely symbiotic relationship between the fire and the embers. And it was amazing. But what it showed me is thought is no different. Life is no different. You are no different. Every day you put a thought into the universe, and when you do, the universe pushes back with that same equal amount of force.
On everything else and everyone else too, yeah.
That's right.
Every thought you have contributes to everyone.
Well, forget about everybody. Just think about yourself. When I put a thought in the universe, it's like a pebble in that ocean. Yeah. Okay? The universe has to, by law, push back on that thought. Bring me back that thought with equal amount of force. And so your thoughts are things. They are powerful things, and we have to understand that. Now, what I'm talking about here is consciousness. So here's the thing. Is consciousness like those embers, like the flow of those embers? Are those embers just different dimensions of the universe? And are we simply the catalyst of the fire that's traveling through them, going from one to the other, to one to the other? As it exhausts, the energy keeps flowing within the system until the system comes to a point of stabilization and optimization.
Absolutely. Just a different type of energy.
That's right. Now we go into the reincarnation thing. Right?
Okay.
Right? So you have so many lives that you've lived karmically, and that cycle eventually comes to an end. And then for that cycle to come to an end, all those lives would have to be finite and coming down to a small little, right? It's like the embers of the fire dying out to one small ember.
Right.
And it makes its last hoorah.
Sums everything up, right? Harmony is attained again.
Yeah.
And that's how you break the karmic cycle, is what you're saying. Or not break it, but get out of it.
But true, but it's also optimization theory. It's also the principle of exchange. It's the principle of how energy operates.
Yeah, I mean, it all connects. It all makes sense. It has to. Like, you know what I mean? You have to. If you have a theory, like, you got to connect everything. You got to loop everything in there. So, like, if I'm a Christian, it works. If I'm a Muslim, it works. If I'm this, because it's a general enough but specific, which is why it's awesome that you found it in something as simple as fire. Because I mean, it's not that simple, but there's not these complex, like, equations and formulas. No, dude, this guy just looked at a bunch of embers and saw the universe, and like saw the universe. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's how often that's how it happens,
That's right. And that's the beauty of it, is that if I move my hand in reality right now, reality is pushing back.
Yeah, you could feel it. Like,
well, that's what I'm trying to say is everything that we do has significance. Everything that we do is energy in movement to a point of optimization.
It's you have to like really keep reminding yourself over, like, to stay there in that mental state. You can do it like right now, like I'm thinking about it this way, and like I perceive it that way, right? But then I'll start doing something else. You get distracted. You really got to keep that ball. You got to keep bringing the ball back right here. Like, think about it that way, and then it'll start to become more evident, and then it'll become easier eventually. But at first, it's kind of like all right, I get it. And then you're kind of like, wait, what, how does that work again? You don't remember. And then the most important thing is not only do we have to contribute thoughts that are, hopefully good for everyone, we have to transmute the energy that the universe sends back to us into something that we need versus something that we,
That's
that
right.
detrimental.
It's the utilization of the process. It's the optimization of the process. Now, I want to put a mind fuck out there for everybody. Okay. Now, what if this really was the case? Is that when you die in this life, your energy goes to another point of existence in another dimension where you're in existence. Okay, and basically, it doubles up, right?
Mm-hmm.
I want everybody to think really hard here. Okay? If this was the case, what if this planet had been destroyed hundreds of times in the last 15 years? And we keep on jumping into different dimensions, the whole planet at the same time, begin jumping into different dimensions where we are still in existence. But look how everything is unstable and happening. Mandela effects.
That's what I'm saying. It's the same shit I'm saying. We're trying to make sure that it's not exactly the same thing I was saying, but like we're simulating this to avoid essentially getting the planet destroyed by jumping back into other, however many realities there are left.
I wouldn't say it's a simulation. Is what if this process was really real? Is that when we die, we actually soul jump to another dimension to where we are in existence? And what if in the last 10 years, CERN or the world elite or, what if an asteroid really did hit on 2012? All these things did happen, okay? And the Earth was destroyed. That means that everybody on the planet would have been shifted to the same next dimension. But here's the thing. It's also the effect from the Jet Li movie, The One, right? Now all of our soul energies are concentrating in the one entity every single time it happens. So here's the thing. We get
stronger and stronger.
But what does that really mean? We get closer and closer to the source and we become more consciously aware and awakened. What's happening right now? We have a mass awakening on this planet, and there's a whole bunch of confusion going on. Nobody knows what the hell's happening. We have Mandela effects happening all over the place. The world's going to shit, but that's because of the instability of how many times this has happened over the last...
Would we remember, though?
No, you wouldn't remember. You wouldn't know.
You would like, Earth blew up, we shifted, and then you just wake up one day.
How would you know?
I don't know. I'm asking you about shit. We don't remember, right?
What if you had a dream? What if you had a dream that the Earth blew up? You wouldn't know the difference.
You would have no idea. And you could live in that dream for a year and it would just be an hour.
Yeah. What if that was what was really fucking happening?
And that's why when you dream, you see glimpses of these other like jumping points, so to speak. You know what I mean?
People that you don't know. The people that you know in your dream that you don't know.
Exactly.
I'd met them. You met them. Like you met like women and men, and be like, dude, I know you. What's up? Oh my god, it's been so long, bro. Right? And then all of a sudden, like, who are you? No idea.
Yeah, it happens all the time. That could be totally be.
Well,
and now with the social media stuff, it's becoming more and more interconnected. And like what you said, the mass awakening stuff, like it's spreading like really fast. Like it's going boom, like on a huge bell curve. You know what I mean?
So Insomniac asked, but why would our memory of just before death not exist? Who says it doesn't?
It doesn't, yeah.
So think about this, though, is if, let's say an asteroid...
Your life flashes before your eyes, doesn't it? Before you die.
Let's just say that an asteroid hit Earth unexpectedly in 2012.
Right.
Okay? And you have an hour to prepare. Okay? And then it's death. It's death and destruction. It's done. And all of a sudden you die, and your consciousness transfers to the next soul, okay, to the next body in another dimension. Now that consciousness is existing in this body.
That's why you have thoughts sometimes that you don't know where they came from.
Yeah.
Like, because it's you just jumping into, you get like, wow, that's crazy.
So here's the kicker though, is the person that you just jumped into is still conscious and aware. You just added onto their knowledge base. So for me, when that happened to me from that reality, I feel like I'm from that reality, from that dimension, but it just doesn't make sense. I can probably come up with memories. Now, here's the thing is, Amber, Or, sorry, Insomniac. Sorry, your name's Insomniac. But here's the thing. Mud flood. Tartaria.
Okay, what about it?
Think about if there was a highly advanced Atlantis, Lumeria. What if these were all just, what if this was 20 years ago?
It's us. We just keep jumping back.
And that civilization was destroyed. We all died and we jumped on to the next one.
That makes sense.
And so Atlantis really did exist. It was just a place we existed in, another dimension we existed in before we all died and jumped to this one.
They say the resets happen every 26,000 years. And I happen to be born on the 26th and I have it tattooed on my leg. So I'm just throwing that out there. Coincidence. I had no idea about that 26,000 year stuff though.
But what if reality was so much more?
It is. They keep finding stuff that's older and older now. There's finding they found nanoparticles, like nano what are they called? The carbon tubes they're called?
Carbon nanotubes.
Carbon nanotubes in India that were like 3,000 years old or something like that. So how what? It's true. I mean, I read the article. I saw it. It was.
You need to send it to me so we can publish it. But so think about this though. This is because it starts to make sense when you start to look at this, right? Is what if the world ended multiple times in the last 20 to 30 years, and that humanity keeps on jumping to alternate timelines? But it's not like we're jumping. It's not like I jump in there fully consciously aware of what happened, right? You got to remember that's
why there's more people too.
It's a fractured consciousness. So it means that I'm jumping into a new consciousness, right? So what if we did remember? And what if we wrote it down? And what if we did tell people? But here's the thing, is it's happened so many times.
It's all kind of so diluted. Yeah.
It's so diluted by the time that we get into the new consciousness. It's just a single little consciousness. You had this massive thing coming into it. It doesn't know how to interpret it or understand it.
People that didn't exist in that next dimension that jumped to it now have to be accommodated for, which is why there's so many of us now.
I feel bad for RJ out there. He's like, I don't like this one. What did I jump into? But it begins to make sense. It makes a lot. You know what? It takes care of simulation theory. It takes care of everything.
It really does. That's a good one. What should we call it? The jumpers?
Jump theory. Yeah, just call it jump theory. Jump theory. Or dimensional theory.
Quantum immortality would be, I think that's what along the lines of that. But this is like mass quantum immortality, like all of us at the same time, not one by one. That makes sense, man. Because
I think that I mean, look about it. Consciousness cannot die in my mind, right? It doesn't just okay. I'm going away. Bye, bye, guys. It has to, and for me, it jumps. I always call this dimensional jumping. Is that when you die at your point of death, you jump, and all of a sudden you're like, holy shit, I'm 10 years old again. That was a crazy dream. I just dreamt I had a whole life. Wow. Right? And every time that you die, you wake up from a dream. But you wake up in a different dimensional aspect, a different dimension of reality, of yourself.
Do you know Dolores Cannon? Dolores Cannon?
Yeah, I've heard Dolores Cannon.
She does the past life regressions and stuff. The Earth is a school for whatever, planet school.
Yeah.
So this is what I had a thought the other day, that consciousness was an entity, right? All of us, like the collective consciousness, we're just floating around in energy. And then there's water. There's also an energy that is its own entity. And the binding contract that we have is water gets the information from the lessons we learn. And it in return makes us, this consciousness, into human form so we can experience this as humans, because spirit wise, we can experience some of the things, some of the lessons and stuff. So we make a contract with water to live here, that's why we feel contained sometimes, and that we're not from here. We are consciousness blending with water to make this suit, and the suit learns lessons, gives the info to water, and then we get life, and we get to keep going with our stuff.
That's an interesting theory. I don't know if I would put so much behind that. Dolores Cannon's a legend in her own right.
She didn't say any of this. The water stuff I just came up with.
I think water is alive. I think we are water-based life forms. I think water is the transducer of consciousness. I think water is also the transducer of realities and dimensionality. The medium of propagation.
I think it's more than that. I think it's got a little oomph to it. It's not just a medium. I think it's got intent.
Intelligence. Yeah, it's got intelligence. Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. because it's like I've been looking at these living water things, like the Water Alive. So this is $400 blender basically that spins the water for you and ionizes it with hydrogen atoms or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then there's this hourglass looking thing when you have the water swirl and you do it 4 times and it has the same effect for like $80. So it's cool because agitated water, or water that's moving, is it essentially resets, right? Like Emoto was talking about. Yeah. So it's just weird that water, like it's water,
like money, like consciousness,
like energy.
It flows.
Current. Yeah. Currency, current.
Be like water.
Like water, my friend. I just posted that on the TikTok. Yeah.
Bruce Lee.
Water is shapeless, formless. When you put water in a teapot, it becomes the teapot.
Be water.
And water can flow and it can crash. Like some of the stuff that he said, like the way he said it sounded so funny. Oh man, Bruce Lee was a legend though.
He was, and they killed him for a reason.
Yeah, and his son too. Damn.
That's right.
What was the reason? I don't know. The actual reason, the real reason.
Knowledge.
Really? Like he knew it all?
I don't know if he knew it all, but he knew the secret.
He knew enough, yeah, right?
He knew enough to make a difference, and he was teaching people how to make a difference.
I heard that he said that I'm leaving this world soon because there's nobody to fight here. Like I have no opponents that are worthy of my, I got to go to the next one, kick some ass over there. That's crazy. Yeah, man. Just like that lady, right? The Matrix lady that was found dead in her car after saying this is a Matrix. That's a weird. Yeah. That's a weird phone call, man. Imagine like what the fuck.
But what if she discovered the process to shift dimensions? And when they find her dead, that's just this universe compensating for her shift to the next dimension.
Same thing with the chick in the water tower, right? Right.
Because the universe has to compensate.
Right, so she's doubled up somewhere else.
That's right.
That's crazy. That just gave me the goosebumps, big time. Oh my God.
It's all a thought experiment.
That's cool.
Live in the Matrix.
I'm okay with that. I mean, what if I can't really do much about it, right? Might as well just enjoy it, make it last, or make it happen.
Someone said, "Get me the fuck out of this timeline."
Nah, you're stuck here with us. Sorry. You better make the best out of it, though. That's the way to do it.
For everybody who's wondering where that blog post is, if you want to check it out, I'm putting it in the chat right now. There's that one on Pilled. I just got to refresh the page. Once the page comes up, I'll post it on there for you.
I got to look up that nanotube thing.
Yeah, send it over to me. That'd be a great one to post.
Yeah, because it doesn't make any sense. How do they do that? But anyway, yeah. I was studying about graphene today, too.
Graphene oxide?
Graphene is the single layer of graphite. And it's got no height, essentially. It's like a sheet, but it's only one atomic height, one atom.
One atom height. One carbon atom height.
It's strong. It's like it's 150 times stronger than steel. It's pliable. It could store more information than silicon. Graphene. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty wild.
And graphene oxide is an additive they put into the COVID-19 vaccine. Graphene oxide is also a new form of water filtration that they're utilizing on the nanoscale.
Cool. You can buy it on Amazon.
And graphene oxide is very easy nanoparticle for storing data and information and is transducive, sending and receiving signals.
You can activate it, whenever you want. That'd be cool. Just inject yourself with a bunch of nanotech, and then when you want to be smart, just push the button.
Or they're just injecting us with a whole bunch of nanotech to control us.
Totally, but that's where I'm not. Yeah. I'm all good.
Interesting conversation tonight. And so if you guys do enjoy these and you are watching on YouTube, please hit that like button, subscribe, hit that bell notification button, and please do leave a comment. This is always a good time. We hadn't done one in quite a few days. We had a few hiccups, a few things going on. I wanted to take a little break because these things burn you out doing these at midnight. Dimitri should be rolling on his own here in the next few days, but Matt's going to be hosting on Wednesday nights. So Matt Aponte will be your host on Wednesday nights, at least for a short time being. And myself and Vince and Amicus will all be jumping in, guest hosting, and doing this show. I think this show is something that we can keep going on. I like it. So let's keep it flowing. If you guys do like it, please, whatever platform you are watching on, please feel free to go ahead and smash that frickin' like button, and then we'll go to Plan B. Okay, cool. But it is bedtime for me. I am beat. I had a long night. I know you guys all did too. I want you all to go out there and think about this theory some more and extrapolate upon it as you get some sleep, because you need to go to sleep, because you cannot just stay up late. Everybody, you know who I'm talking about out there. All of you guys that are insomniacs.
Yeah.
But you guys have a great night, and we will see you. I think Insomniac Hour is back Wednesday night. Today's Monday?
Yes, it is.
Today's Monday. So Insomniac Hour is back Wednesday night. There might be an impromptu episode tomorrow. You will know. Just watch out for the newsletter from the Redpill Project to see if it happens. Other than that, much love. God bless. Take care. Sleep well. Dream easy. Peace out.